Okay, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and tonight is my round 17 NRL tips for 2025. So, yeah, look, it's exactly 10 weeks until we get to the final round of the season. So, kind of crazy how fast this year has gone. But yeah, look, hopefully these last few weeks count and we see some great games from round 17 to the very last round before finals. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what round 17 provides us with, hopefully some cracker games going forward. But as always, though, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And thank you to those that have recently helped me reach my goal of 5,450 subscribers. Means a lot. And yeah, en route to 5,500 subscribers now. So that's the next channel goal, 5,500 subscribers. So again, thank you very much to those who are new and have subscribed. Appreciate it heaps. But some good games this weekend though, like the first game, Panthers and Bulldogs at Combank Stadium. That should be a cracker. I feel like with the way Penrith are now going, and Dogs obviously been the top of the table team. Another game that I'm actually keen for as well is probably Broncos Warriors. Broncos seem to be winning, some games as of recent, and the Warriors, as good as they have been, they were very disappointing against Penrith last week. So we'll see what team comes out on top there. And I guess another one that I'm actually keen for as well, for some reason, I think Storm Sharks could be quite interesting. Storm have been good, but not great, I'll say. And Sharks have been very inconsistent. So, but these two sides have always had great games against each other. So that's why I'm keen for that one as well. But without further ado, let's get into the round 17 tips and predictions. All right, first up, Panthers versus Bulldogs at Combank Stadium, Thursday night footy. So, Penrith, yep, great win over the Warriors last week. Didn't watch the game actually, but because I was out, but I saw highlights of how Penrith played and they looked very, very good. Scott Sorensen had a legacy game and the Warriors were just bad, I guess, overall. Whereas the Bulldogs had the bye last week, but they have been in very good form and they just beat the Rabbitohs the week before. So we'll see how the Dogs go for this game as well. So look at both sides. Isaiah Yeo, Cleary, Toto, Martin, and Dylan Edwards all back for the Panthers this week from the Origin and being rested like last week as well. Alamotti, Laurie, Eisenhuth, and Trent Taylor all make way for the Origin returning players. Brad Schneider and Luke Garner go to the bench after starting against the Warriors. Stephen Crichton, Max King, Kurt Mann, Matt Burton are all back playing this week after being out with Origin as well. Kiraz slides to the wing and Lachlan Galvin keeps his place on the bench with Sexton and Burton being the halves. And Curtis Moran goes to the 18th man role, and that's about it. All right, well, my tip for this game, it's actually like the last time the Bulldogs beat the Panthers was actually back in 2019 at the same venue as well, Combank Stadium. And do they break that drought? I think they do. I think the Bulldogs defeat the Panthers for the first time in, how long now? 6 years, I think it is. So, yeah, I think the Dogs will beat the Panthers on Thursday night. And Penrith will be good, but I think Dogs will be just better. So, I'll go Penrith to win. Let's go Penrith to win. I'll give you some scoreline predictions now. I'll go Penrith to win Bulldogs to win. My bad. 24 points to 18. I think it will be quite a close game, but I see Dogs getting over the line just and grabbing the win on Thursday night. So, first try, I'll go with Bronson Jerry, and anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Isaiah Papali'i, and for the Bulldogs, going to go with Marcelo Montoya for a try. But yeah, Bulldogs to win. Okay, next up, it's my boys Manly up against the Tigers on Friday night at Four Pines Park. So, Tigers' first time playing at Four Pines Park since 2023. And yeah, Manly, obviously, their last win was at Brookie as well over the Broncos. So, don't know how they'll go this week after some terrible games back to back, but I'm hoping for better days to come. But, Tigers were very close to defeating Canberra last week, but fell short. And yeah, Manly, I don't want to talk about it, but lost to Gold Coast the week before in a very bad game. So, see what the response will be. Looking at both sides, so Tom Trbojevic has moved to the centres, Lehigh Hopewadi fullback, and Garrick wing. Now, personally, I love these changes because I believe Turbo should move to centres in order to get his confidence back up and maybe get him feeling a bit more confident about his ability to play. And Lehigh has been playing great footy at fullback whenever he's been called to play there, so I think that's a move that makes sense. And Ruben Garrick, I still believe his best position is winger, but his defence at centre has improved heaps, but I do believe he's a winger, so I'm keen to see Garrick back in his real position on the wing. That means Jason Saab's been dropped for this game. And Olakau'atu being out with a shoulder injury means Waddell starts in the back row because we have no one else, unfortunately. But got to pick that bloody plotter Waddell. But yeah, Matt Lloyd starts at prop. Jazz Tavanga goes to hooker, which I don't like at all. And Jake Simpkin goes to the bench and Croker's out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not keen on all these changes, but the backline changes I'm very happy with. But not keen on all these changes, if I'm being honest. But looking at the Tigers team, Heath Mason goes to fullback with Dream Bullet out with a hamstring injury, so big blow there for the Tigers. Jerome Luai will play 5'8", and Mulatu Fainu is the halfback, and Tony Sakar has been promoted to the bench for this game. Look, I'll back Manly in this game, as I always do, back my boys no matter what, but I'm very worried about Terrell May, Fanua Polo, Api Korosia all running a chainsaw for our forward pack, so yeah, I don't know how we're going to go, but I'm hoping the team wins, but we said the same about the Knights and Titans games, and look what happens. So I can't go, I'm confident about a win on Friday anymore, even if it's at Brookie. But I'll back Manly to win. I believe they'll respond this week, and yeah, I'll go Manly to win. Let's go Manly 28, Tigers 18. First try scorer, give me Ruben Garrick on the wing. And anytime try scorer is going to go with Ben Travojevic in the back row. And for the Tigers, going to go with Stafford Toa for a try. So, yeah, Manly to win. Next up, the main game on Friday. It's the Knights versus the Raiders at McDonald Jones Stadium up there in Newcastle. So, last week the Knights were, quite good against the Dolphins, I thought. Like, they weren't amazing, but, they had a very gritty performance to win that game. So, credit to Newcastle. They've definitely turned a corner as of recent, I feel like, in terms of being in the game more. As for Canberra Raiders, well, the Raiders are just proving why they're such a threat in this game. They just beat the Tigers last week at Campbelltown just by 4 points, but the Raiders are definitely a real premiership threat for 2025, and I would not be shocked to see Canberra in the grand final by the end of the year. So Canberra are just a real force at the moment. But look at both sides. For the Knights, the home side, Jackson Hastings returns yet again for the Knights in the halves, with Fletcher Sharp out with an injury. Pretty bad injury too, actually. Ruptured his spleen and lacerated his kidney, so far out. Prayers up for Fletcher Sharp. That's terrible to hear. Jacob Saifidi will play his first game since round 11, having overcome a calf injury. Matt Croker goes to the bench. Greg Marzu arm and Jack Harrington's shoulder are both named in the reserves as they push back from injury. So we'll see when they return, I guess. And look at the Raiders team. Simi Sasagi, a former Knight, actually will start in the back row with Hudson Young, who's been rested this week. And that's about it for the Raiders. Oh, and Noah Martin is the new face on the bench as well for the Raiders. All right, as gritty as Newcastle have been the past few weeks, I think Canberra will be too good on Friday night. I think Canberra's forward pack and the way they play will definitely be a bit too much for the Knights. So I'll go Canberra to win. Let's go Raiders to win. I'll go 34 points to 34-16 Raiders way. First try scorer, give me Jed Stewart on the wing. And anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with James Schiller, the former Raider. And I'll also go with Ethan Strange to score. Moving on to Super Saturday, the first game of 3. It's the Broncos versus Warriors, 3 p.m. Saturday at Suncorp Stadium. So last week, I tipped Broncos, so I'm very glad I got that tip correct because I was scared that I was going to get that tip wrong after seeing how the Sharks were leading the game at one point. But credits to the Broncos. They came back in a really good way. They're defeating the Sharks 34-28, I think the score was. And I was at Allianz Stadium while I was watching the game, actually, because I was at Roosters Cowboys and I saw the full-time result and I couldn't believe how they came back. The Broncos really shocked me, actually. So they will take a lot of confidence away from that game, but I'm sure they will want to improve their defense. That's one thing for sure. As for the Warriors, well, didn't really see them play, like I said, but they were obviously quite bad against the Panthers last week at home. And at Mount Smart especially, the Warriors are barely bad at home, but that was the worst performance of the year, I think. So, or maybe the Vegas game was worse, but that was not good by the Warriors losing to a B grade Penrith team. So obviously Webster will have to look at some things that the Warriors have to be better at, I think for sure. But looking at both sides, the Broncos have gone the same 17 that won last week, and yeah, that's about it. No changes. And as for the Warriors, Dallin Martinez-Lesniak is out with an ankle injury, so that means Ed Cossey comes in on the wing. Rocco Berry is back from a hamstring injury in the centres, and Kurt Capewell returns after being rested last week. So Leka Halasima goes to the bench, and Tanner Smith goes to 18th man. Okay, there we go. And I believe Jacob Laban's starting as well, which I think is the right call based on what Warriors fans are saying. My tip for this game, very tough game to tip actually. I'm going to go the Warriors without any confidence. I think Warriors have enough to win in my opinion, and I think based on this year, I trust them a bit more. But the Broncos are, getting their team back together now, their best team they could possibly name. So that's why I feel like I might make a mistake here, but I'll tip Warriors though for the time being. I think they'll bounce back this week, and I think I trust them more in season 2025. So I'll go Warriors to win. Let's go the Warriors to win 20 points to 16. A close game actually. I can't see it being a high scoring game, but it could be. But I'm seeing this one more as a closer game. So 20 to 16 Warriors way. First try scorer, give me Adam Pompey in the centres. And anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Reece Walsh. And for the Warriors, going to back in Jacob Laban for a try. But Warriors win without any confidence. Next up at Wollongong, it's the Dragons versus Eels at WIN Stadium, 5:30 p.m. kickoff. So the last time I believe the Eels played in Wollongong was a very long time ago. It might have been like 2017 or something the last time the Eels played there. I'm not too sure, maybe a bit more earlier, but I swear it's been that long since the Eels have played in Wollongong. So yeah, I might need to check that stat very soon actually. But yeah, Dragons versus Eels. The Dragons, they are really struggling, aren't they? They are in a world of pain right now. A couple more losses and their year could be completely done for good. So they need to start winning very soon. And as for Parramatta, good win over the Gold Coast last Sunday in a very high-scoring game. Without Moses and Brown, that was a pretty impressive win by the Eels. So I'll take a lot of confidence out of that performance for sure. But they're both, well, actually one's back, but one's not. So we'll see how they go this week. Looking at both sides, for the Dragons, Corey Allen and Christian Tuipulotu are the wingers. And Val Holmes is also back on deck after missing the Shark game with Origin. So that's why Holmes was out against the Sharks due to Origin. And Allen and Tuipulotu are the wingers, just making sure. And also Jaden Stewart ankle has been named to return while Viliami Fafita comes in for his first game of 2025 on the bench, and Loko Pacifici Tonga drops out of the team. Interesting there by Flano. And look at the Eels team. Dylan Brown is back from suspension. That sees Joash Papali'i revert to the bench. Jordan Samrani joins the starting side at centre. And Will Pinasini is a suspended player for the next 3 games due to a dangerous throw last week. And that means with Joash Papali'i going to the bench, Riley Smith is also out. Who's out with 2-game suspensions. So, a bit of losses there for Parramatta. But my tip for this game, though, I think Dragons bounce back this week. I really do. Like, if Parramatta win, I would not be shocked at all. But I feel like at Wollongong, they normally play their best footy there. So, I think the Dragons will get the job done in a very close game. Let's go Dragons to win. I'll go 24 points to 20. First try scorer, give me Corey Allen. And anytime try scorers, I'm going to go Jaden Stewart. And for Parramatta, going to back in the Fox, Josh Adokar. And the last game to wrap off Super Saturday, it's the Dolphins versus Rabbitohs at Suncorp Stadium, 7:50 p.m. kickoff. Now, these two sides were supposed to be playing each other at Suncorp in round 1, but obviously due to Cyclone Alfred, that's why that game got moved to CommBank Stadium in Sydney. So the Dolphins will take their home game now in round 17 against the Rabbitohs side at Suncorp. So there we go. But Dolphins, very good at Oscar Friesen, playing great footy. won by 50 points in back-to-back weeks, but lost to the Knights in a very close game in Perth. So unlucky not to win, but I guess they just weren't good enough, and they'll have to just go back to the basics and get better, I guess. And as for South Sydney, man, I was at that game actually with Rabbitohs versus Storm at the call. Great game, but yeah, Souths had a great game, I thought, despite the loss. Like, their effort was unmatched, but Storm just found a way in the end. But tough loss for South Sydney, but I'm sure they'll come back a bit more firing this weekend though. Looking at both sides, for the Dolphins, Jack Bostock is out for the rest of the year with an ACL injury. So prayers up for Jack Bostock as well. That's a huge loss for the Dolphins. And, Bostock's one of the best rising young wingers in the game. So I really hope Jack gets better soon. That means Junior Tupou replaces him on the wing. First game since round 2. And Josh Kerr has been recalled off the bench with last week's debutant Orblicks Tawa dropping to the reserves. And as for the Rabbitohs, Campbell Graham, Cody Walker return in the back line. So that sees Jack White shift from 5'8" to centre. Ewan Aiken goes to the back row. And Peter Mamouzelos is also back on the bench, returning from an elbow injury. While Jaden Sullivan is now named in the reserves for this game and looks to return from a calf injury. And Ryan Gray, Liam Lee Blanc make way, and Isaiah Tass goes to 18th man as well. My tip for this game, tough game to call, but you know what? I'm going to tip the Rabbitohs actually. Don't know what it is, but I feel like South will get the job done this Saturday night at Suncorp Stadium. So I'll go South Sydney to win. Let's go 22 points to 14. First try scorer, give me Tyrone Munro, and anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Jamal Sarko, and for the Rabbitohs, going to go Big Keon Koloamatangi, but Souths to win. That's my special of the week. Moving on to Sunday afternoon footy in Melbourne, it's the Storm versus Sharks, 2 p.m. kickoff at Amy Park. Now, it wasn't too long ago when these sides last played, actually. The last game was at Shark Park only a few weeks ago, and the Sharks upset the Storm in a good win there, even though Storm nearly came back and won from behind. But these two sides don't like each other. It's a very small rivalry, but definitely one full of hatred. So I'm keen for this one on Sunday. But Melbourne, very lucky to beat the Rabbitohs last week. But classy players obviously get you the results. So I'm sure Storm will be happy with that result either way. As for the Sharks, well, I can't read Cronulla right now. Like, really, I can't. They should have beaten Broncos. Like, they should have beaten Broncos, but they just weren't good enough. And we'll see what response Craig Fitzgibbon has given these Sharks boys for this week. But looking at both sides, for the Storm, Xavier Coates returned after being rested last week. So that means Grant Anderson shifts to centres in place of Jack Howarth, who is out with an illness. Stefano and Trent Liero will also start this weekend. And that's about it for the Storm. For the Sharks, Oregon Kaufusi returns after being a late withdrawal last week with a hamstring injury. So that means Brandon Hamlin-Uele goes back to the bench and Hohepa Puru drops out. My tip for this game, I'll go the Storm to win. I think Storm will be too good at Amy Park in Melbourne. And the Storm's record this year has been just, crazy good at home. So, I'll tip the Storm in a very safe tip here. So, Melbourne to win, 13 plus. I'll go Storm 38, Sharks 16. First try scorer, I'm going to go with Su'a Faulongo. He's due this week to score a try. Didn't score last week, but I think he'll score in this game. And anytime try scorers, Ryan Pappenhausen. And for the Sharks, going to go with Sione Katoa. And lastly, the last game of round 17, it's at Seavale Super Stadium up there on the Gold Coast. It's the Titans versus Cowboys. And the Cowboys thumped the Titans last time in Townsville during Anzac round by 50 points. So we'll see what Titans' response to that is at home. So, Titans unlucky to lose to the Eels last Sunday. But, clearly their defense was not good enough. As for the Cowboys, they're not much better at the moment, unfortunately. Their defense has been quite bad as well. So if this game goes on to be like a scoreline of 40 points to 30, I wouldn't be shocked, in all honesty. But, we'll see how this game goes. Could have potential to be a good game. I guess we'll find out. Looking at both sides, for the Titans, Tom Weaver goes to halfback this week with Jane Campbell out with a head knock. Tino Fasul Malawi is back in the starting side, and Klesi Haas returns to the bench alongside Jacob Alec. And Isaac Fasul Malawi and Mawaki Fedawaka are also back as well, I think. Yep, they're back as well. And for the Cowboys, Jake Clifford earns a recall at 5'8", with Jackson Purdue shifting to the centre position, and Braden Burns makes way. Reece Robson and Ruben Cotter are back on deck, but Jason Tamalolo calf remains sidelined. And Carl Lawton is out due to suspension, while Kai O'Donnell and Thomas Duffy drop out in this game. Look, a game that I think can go either way, because I think these sides are pretty similar in terms of the way they play sometimes. But I think with Jacob Clifford and Tom Dearden in the halves, I said Jacob, whoops, it's Jake Clifford and Tom Dearden in the halves. I think that's a halves pairing that makes more sense. And look, Jackson Purdue probably will be a long-term 5'8" one day, but right now he suits that centre position a lot better. So, yeah, good change there by the Cowboys. So, I'll go Cowboys in a tight game, but full of points though. So, Cowboys to win. Let's go Cowboys to win. I'll go 32 points to 24. First try scorer, give me Robert Derby. And anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Alan Fitzgibbon from the Titans. And for the Cowboys, going to back in Jeremiah Nanai. But that right there was my round 17 tips and predictions for 2025. Let me know in the comments down below what your tips are for this week. But hope you all enjoyed, and enjoy your weekend of footy.